God.
What's going on Unfazed crew? So I just had Emmett watch a couple really, really terrible TV show trailers for CBS shows. One was called like
Fire Country,
and then
East New York.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about those trailers?
Fucking awful. First of all, I don't know who's still watching these kinds of shows. It kind of makes me feel bad. Like,
people in retirement homes?
Yeah, literally. I do feel bad about that. This shit they have to just watch.
They're like caricatures of real people.
Yeah. They're all the thing I hate about like firefighter shows and just like a cop, especially cop shows and all that stuff, is like the super macho-ness. Like everyone's like stepping on each other's toes constantly.
Yeah,
and they have some like, deep, sad, ridiculous backstory to why they're doing this.
Always, yeah.
There's always more turmoil between the officers than there actually is within like their city.
Yeah.
And then
how could you sleep with man?
Yeah. The other thing I hate is that they're all like ghetto. Like, isn't that the kind of culture that they're trying to kind of remove? But they're all like, hey yo,
hey yo, what up?
What the fuck?
Welcome to the PD.
It looks like hell. And as you said, the casting is like there's this particular kind of cheap casting that you can just see where they're all like they all just look like boring models, kind of
boring models. Yeah. And everyone's like real scowly and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks like garbage.
Right. Yeah,
so CBS, man, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You guys fucking suck.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're drinking some Pilsner Urkel. Shout out to Steve Urkel. And this is because of our boy Warhammer. Yeah, so shout out to Warhammer, Shimon. He is an awesome dude, and actually he is going to be our guest on the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, so shout out to him, and I hope you guys enjoy our interview with him. We really had a fun little chat back and forth, talked about Czech Republic, cultural differences, some political things that he likes. And
Warhammer was our very first patron, right?
Very first patron, and Yeah, he's one of the OGs. He believed in us from the beginning, so thank you, sir.
So, do you think do you want to check that out right now, or we just go into it and come back?
Yeah, we'll go right into it.
Right.
You guys enjoy our interview with Warhammer, and we'll come back and we will do the rest of the podcast. So enjoy our interview.
Perfect. All right. Well, first of all, hello, Shimon, a.k.a. Simon, a.k.a. Artwork of Warhammer fame.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you joined us, Evan. This is great. Yeah, technical bullshit is always a pain in the ass.
Always happens like the one time you really need it to work.
Yeah. I was like ready to rock. I don't know if you guys heard it earlier in the recording, but like I was ready to rock. But my neighbor's kids were being so excruciatingly loud, just screaming. It literally was coming in through my window. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. We'll walk around the park right now, even though it's like 100 degrees.
It looks beautiful, though, where you're at.
It's actually
it's
nice.
Hot, but yeah.
Very tranquil, yeah. Anyway, thanks for doing this with us, man. Like I think we've only talked once before.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we've talked already. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked plenty of times via Discord. That's how we became friends.
No. I mean, on the video, I believe we actually seen each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we did one time, but this is cool, man. So you are for the Unfazed crew and anyone watching who doesn't know Warhammer. Do you want me to call you Shimon or sorry?
I would probably prefer Shimon because it's my name.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, I'll call you that. It's just force of habit. We usually call you
Warhammer.
Yeah. All right, Shimon.
Look at his Warhammers, man.
There you go.
Yes, exactly. All right, so Shimon. Well, tell us a little bit about you for the folks that don't know, because we've known you for a while, but for the audience, go ahead and give us a little mini bio on yourself.
So my name is Shimon. I'm alcoholic. Based in Czech Republic. I mean, Unfazed crew member.
Yes, and actually, fun fact, he is the original. He is the first official Unfazed crew member and the first Unfazed patron. So you believed in us before anybody, man. So thank you for that.
That's very true.
I mean, enjoying the videos, right? One was digging into the La Fave community, and now I saw like Emmett actually doing music stuff, right? And via that, I just got to the Unfazed review channel, and I'm here, man.
Hell yeah!
Here you are. Here. So what I always find interesting is like talking to you in Czech Republic. I know we have a patron who lives in the Philippines. I know we have a patron who lives in England. We got other people the U.S., in random little towns and cities. What about Unfazed resonated with a man in Czech Republic? Like, what about two dudes in Arizona kind of made you become a fan?
I guess your ideas, or the way you are thinking, even politically, it's kind of is similar. I would say here that that's what I would like to see the America be like. Your views actually. So yeah, that's kind of the reason. And you guys are actually both like very cool guys, right? So if you were old dudes almost on the bed that I wouldn't be watching you, right? But you are cool guys with cool ideas, and actually you show us more of this, regular Arizona life. I probably won't tell America life because America is huge, right? But yeah, you show us how just two dudes in the USA live.
That's awesome. Heck yeah, man! I think that's a great answer.
I mean, one day you will get famous, rich, and it will be all boring, but at this moment,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
that means a lot, man. Thank you. We definitely try to keep it real. So even if we became, successful to that point, I think we would have no trouble keeping it real. Because I mean, the whole thing about being unfazed is like not, letting this stuff get to you and being sort of genuine and true to yourself and all that.
Yeah, sure. That's the name, right? Unfazed, just don't care, right? Or when it comes to it.
That's right.
Remaining unfazed. And what I find funny is, like, originally it started as a cool name. We had written a script together, and the word unfazed kept popping up multiple times, and we said, it kind of became a running gag in the script. One of the characters, Jimmy, was unfazed. And when we finally came together and we're like, hey, let's make a YouTube channel, what would be a good name? We were like, Unfazed something. And then we kicked around some different names, Unfazed Media, Unfazed. And finally, because the original channel was called Unfazed Media. And then eventually we switched over.
I believe, for some reason, I believe it was called like that. I believe it was maybe in the video, in some intro for a video or something like that. But I always I have that in memory that it was Unfazed Media, maybe in some intro of some video. So yeah.
Yeah, it was Unfazed Media 3. It was like I at the end.
Yeah.
It was another reference to our first script that we did.
There was some. I remember there was some small other YouTube channel called Unfazed Media, and we found them, and they were smaller than us at the time, even when we were really just budding. We were like 50 subs, and they were like 10 subs. But we were like, we don't want there to be confusion, so we're like, Unfazed, other than media, what could there be? And then we did do a lot of, a lot of our podcasts and vlogs and so forth are reviewing something. So we were like, we're Unfazed Review, because
Yep, and originally I had a blog before the channel, which I called Unfazed Review, and then I just got burned out on it because who reads vlogs anymore, unless it's like a health and fitness vlog or some shit like that. But blogs I just lost steam on it, but I always really liked the name Unfazed Review. And Emmett was like, well, we do review a lot of shit, and I was like, yeah, well, let's just stick with that because it's kind of rolls off the tongue a little better and it's a cooler title. But anyway, what's kind of funny about using the title Unfazed is like now it's like harder and harder to be unfazed, I think, for everybody around the world, but especially in the U.S. I'm sure for you as well. But with all the stuff going on and just how crazy it is, it's harder and harder to be unfazed. So I think maybe it's more important to be reminded to remain unfazed.
Oh yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So tell us more about you, though. Tell us more about you as a person, just for the folks at home, for the audience, like stuff that you'd like to share.
I mean, I'm, typical working guy who likes beer, and fun, actually. Probably, maybe I should talk about the name, right? The Artwork of Warhammer. So yeah, Warhammer guy on the, internets, posting stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about yourself, right, when it comes to it. I believe I'm a funny guy.
I think you're too.
Again.
If you think we're funny, then you're funny, for sure.
And I'm from Czech Republic. Yeah, it's hard to talk about myself, when it comes to it. I hate to, be proudful about myself or something like that. How do you call it in English?
Prideful,
just to say, yeah, I'm the best, man. Yeah, I don't do that. Like, I'm just typical Czech guy enjoying
we'll
stuff.
do that for you.
Yeah, we do that for you. We love you, man, and I think it's
started right.
Can you talk about Warhammer again? Because I know it's like a sort of a tabletop RPG type thing with like the little figures and stuff. So how did you get into that? And
It's evolved. Hasn't it evolved into video games too, or is it all tabletop?
Yeah.
Still?
Again, as I told, yeah. Right now, right now it always is and always was tabletop game. It's you paint the miniatures, you do the battles against your friends or someone. But yeah, I got into Warhammer via PC games actually. They started this interest, and I went to the Wikipedias. I started to read some books, about it, because it's really huge. Like everyone kind of finds him for him like something they like. I like, we have Eldari who are elves. They are based on the Tolkien elves, but they are in space. So yeah, but everyone likes something on it, and again, it's really different. I would say it really takes just the inspiration from other sci-fis. Actually, it's not original, right? There is some part from Duna sci-fis, actually. Cool. Starship Troopers,
cool.
Then the movie, even Horizon. It all kind of is merged into it. Again, Tolkien actually has impact on the Warhammer 40k, and that's fantasy writer, right? So yeah, it's interesting actually to read through, and I'm hoping we will have more TV shows that will popularize it more. So more people are interested in the Warhammer 40k and the grim dark future, or grim. How is the beginning of the books? In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, or something like that. Yeah, that's the 40k for you. Yeah.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Well, we'll definitely link all your stuff below. Make sure you guys follow Artwork of Warhammer on Instagram. And really cool stuff, man. That's awesome. I just find it so interesting. You can be so into that, and then somehow, our lives intersect, and you become an Unfazed patron, an Unfazed crew member. Like that's awesome, dude.
That's life, right?
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
I'm interested because you do seem to obviously vibe with our political spectrum and stuff. And so is that I don't know how to approach this, but what is your perception of America, and is your stance on things sort of typical for where you live? Or
I mean, I live in Czech Republic, right? We are on the verge between Russia and the USA, so we pick sides here, and for us it's either West or go Russia, right? And since our history is what it is, right? We've been effed by Russia for last 60 years, so we are all more or mostly Western based. And at this moment, I don't necessarily like USA. A lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff is actually coming, I would say, from USA to the Europe. You can see it in the England. But there is this part of us being partly not Russians. We are Slavs, right? So we are still keeping our stuff. So while I don't like USA political spectrum right now, the left thingies you have there, I like, for instance, you guys, because you are more like us Czechs, because we are like conservative right, I would say, or something like that, like political, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to categorize people by political spectrum, right? So yeah, I would say we wipe a lot like together. I think our opinions are very similar. So yeah,
we should go to Czech Republic for a vlog, and we'd enjoy it a lot.
I would love to go to Czech Republic. I've been watching the YouTuber German in Venice, and he's over back where he came from in Germany, and he's really fun to watch. I would love to see stuff like that from you. You know what I mean? I would love to see your perspective of Czech Republic and everything like that. All the great places that you travel to. You travel to so many cool places, it looks like, on Instagram. Or on, Discord.
I'm trying to... I'm trying to take pictures for you, but there is always at least one hand free. There is one hand needed to be free, right? So I can walk with the phone and beer.
Of course, it's tricky. Hey, what beer are you drinking right now? What beer are you drinking right now?
Oh, actually, Pilsner Urquell, man.
Nice.
Our OG beer, right?
Very cool. So is that like a staple of Czech beer? Is that like one of the? Is that like?
Yeah. I mean, probably that's the beer you can get in the USA because it's being imported to the USA for sure. It's like our trademark beer, Pilsner Urquell, right?
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll swing by Total Wine and More and try to pick up a couple, and then we could drink them both on the remainder of the podcast with Emmett.
That would be sick. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
I'm sure. What's it called again? Actually, just send me a
Pilsner.
picture.
Pilsner. Oh yeah, sure. But yeah, it's Pilsner Urquell. I mean, if you like type into Google like typical Czech beer brand, it will be like the first one, because that's our that's the beer here.
It's called Pilsner Urquell. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Urquell. Do you know who Urquell is? Urquell from Family Matters.
No.
I'll send you a
No.
video. He's hilarious.
And I just wanted to thank you for your support of us, buddy, because you have a pretty far reach there on Instagram, and you've always been like shouting us out, and it means a lot, man. And of course, your support on the Patreon as well. So yeah, it means a lot to us. So
Thank you, Shimon.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yes. I'm trying to support artists. I can, right? Cash is there for now. I'm not having a bad life, right? So why not to support something I like and enjoy?
thanks, man.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it, and you being the OG Unfazed crew member is really it's really awesome. We really appreciate it.
I'm curious because it's true. I know we've said it before, but many times when we make a video, we are like, man, I hope Warhammer is gonna like this. So now that we have you, I wanted to ask you: is there a favorite video of ours that you have, or is there a favorite vein? Is it like the skits or the spooky stuff, or like what?
I mean, I love the podcast, right?
Okay.
I really enjoy. I go to the work, I just hit the play and listen it while I'm working.
Good to know.
I mean, sadly, my brain with you actually is kind of biased to LaFave Bros. So I,
Yes.
whenever I think about you, I'm having the fucking Oblivion roller, right?
Yeah.
And
Story of my life, man.
and and the last video, the hoarding one, I'm Benus Styrekus and or whatever was the band's name. Yeah, that's probably one of my
Ben
favorites.
Styrekus,
Although although the first the real old Oblivion IRL videos are my favorite with you, at least one of you, right? But yeah, I'm huge into that. But yeah, podcasts are something I really enjoy because you don't need to watch it, right? Because that's not based on the video, right? It's audio stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people
So
really like it because they can kind of absorb it while they're working or working out or whatever.
Yeah. Is there any aspect of the podcast you like the best? Is it just sort of the news bits or the political bits, or what do you like about it?
I mean, I like listening to you guys because obviously your ideas, right? But I like the stuff you send in, some news here and there, and you talk about these weird things you just find on the internet. You think, hey, it's interesting. Let's talk about it on the podcast, and you just do it, right?
Ben is great at that. Ben's so good at finding these interesting things, interesting places. Ruby, that was all Ben. When we went down to that Ruby, ghost town, and most of the news that you see us talk about, that's Ben finding that stuff. So yeah, it's sick. I'm glad you like that.
So yeah, I enjoy that randomness. Just hey, I've seen this news, and let's talk about it. Like, why not?
Cool.
Yeah,
and again, I mean, as a person based in Czech Republic, I learn a lot. About the US. Why are you, right? Because right now here we don't really talk about the US, right? I mean, the news aren't. I mean, we all know what our news covering at this moment. So, you are the US-based news agency for me when it comes to it right now at this moment.
I appreciate that, man. And honestly, I think we try to strive for that, like remaining unfazed. While we're doing everything, it's like we try to. Sorry, helicopter up above. We try to keep it very honest. We try to keep it very real. And whenever we talk about something, we try to give you our really honest opinion. Like we don't like to lie to our viewers, especially on the podcast where it's like something really important or something interesting. Like you're going to get the real opinion on it, the real spin from us, And
speaking of opinions, since we're all about just trying to give genuine opinions and not being afraid of what people are going to think, we're just trying to be true to ourselves and be true to ourselves within the world. And so now that we have you, if you're comfortable with it, I would love to hear your perspective on the whole situation with Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, that would be really cool to hear.
I mean, the beginning of that situation is very complicated. There is definitely involvement of both sides. NATO fucked up. Ukraine themselves, they weren't really going by the Minsk agreements. And Russia did fucked up with the whole situation being started. It is hard, right? My heart goes to the Ukraine right at this moment, because they are kind of going through something we went through in the '68, where Russians or Soviet states invaded Czech Republic. So that's kind of I didn't believe that it will start. So it is hard to like go and say what what do you think about it, because I know the beginning of it is really difficult because it's not only on Russia. There were some issues from both sides, and again, we didn't believe that it will happen. I believe lever action will he mentioned that it will start, and we were like, nah, it won't, because I don't know, when it comes to it, we kind of saw and we thought about the Russian army that it's kind of fake, so we were like, oh yeah, they won't do that.
Mhm.
And now they did it, and they are not doing really well. I mean, when it comes to it, at this moment, Russian army is the second best one in the Ukraine. So that's why we were kind of thinking, but yeah, we are shocked, right? It's the Europe is kind of all waiting for what will happen. Well, essentially, not much. We don't expect much more to happen, since Russia cannot invade nation next to them which isn't in NATO. So going somewhere else would actually mean Third World War, and actually nuclear death when it comes to it. So yeah, probably it will end in the Ukraine.
Yeah. What do you think is the right move? Let's say just suddenly someone gives you a magic wand and a throne, and they're like, "All right, Shimon, you are basically a world leader or a god for a day." What do you think is the right answer to end this? How do you think would be the best way, realistically, to end this situation?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of already shaping up, right? Ukraine will lose Donbass and Luhansk, the areas because of which it started. So in the long run, I believe it will end with them losing that area. I mean, no Ukrainians are living there anymore. It's really only soldiers or Russian population. So you don't even if Ukraine claim that area, there will be a lot of resistance against them, I believe, at this moment. So I believe let Russians have it, and yeah, maybe hopefully Ukraine should get Crimea back. Although again, there is a lot of Russian population at this moment because a lot of Ukrainians went west to our lands. So I mean, you don't want to own an area where they do not want you, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Russian problem. So they will probably now, and that's mostly realistic, scenario. They will just strengthen their presence in Donbass, Luhansk. They will say, we liberated it from the Ukrainian Nazis, and just try to claim it. The issue is Ukrainian government, or even the people, they just won't surrender. There will be no agreement, I believe, anytime soon, because they are really into it. It's because it's their patriotic war, right? They are protecting their own lands. So I mean, it will be long war.
Yeah.
Do the civilians have weapons? Do the civilians have their own weapons to fight back? Because I know if something were to go down here, you'd have so many people here in the U.S. that have weapons. So it would be pretty horrific. You know what I mean? Do the people there have rifles and stuff?
Yeah, and they are based on the Russians, right, at this moment. And you just cannot shoot every civilian you see. So yeah, Russia cannot go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended where it started, with Donbass and Luhansk being, this no man's zone, which is constantly being shelled. Which, I mean, when it comes to it, at this moment, Russia already lost the war. They are, in isolation. No one really is talking to them. I mean, China isn't really. A lot of Chinese corporations are pulling back from Russia. NATO actually, is growing up or trying to grow up by Finland and Sweden, right? Because they just landed their applications. Europe actually started to stand together. They are trying to cut our gas. Prices go up, but Nordic nations are trying to help us, and then it will take year too for us to build the pipelines. But just there is no real victory Russia can claim here. Sure, they will try to claim, we liberated Mariupol or Donbass from the Nazis, so they can kind of try to end the war in the Russian, because even the Russian people will feel the impact, right? There is like, fucking Coca-Cola went 200% up in Russia recently.
How so?
Price wise.
Well, no one shipped. Yeah, price wise.
Got it.
No one is shipping Coca-Cola there anymore, right? So the price went up.
Like a hot commodity because you can't get it anymore for a time. Got it.
So prices will go up in the Russia, and
I heard
again,
McDonald's went away. I heard they closed all the McDonald's in Russia.
oh yeah, and actually for me that's kind of this end of the Western Russia, because when Soviet Union fell down, the McDonald's was this staple of West, right? We are free, we have the democracy, and they had McDonald's, and now McDonald's is leaving, and Russia is gone.
It's true, but it's so funny to me that the big tell that they're losing and that they have lost is they lost Coca-Cola and McDonald's. It's like, that's really, I've lost everything at this point, And I
Nuggets.
Yeah, I've always had a tendency in these situations, in every situation, to play devil's advocate, and I have thought a lot about how hellish it must be to live in Russia right now. Like, it's probably horrific being there. Yeah.
I mean,
sorry to interrupt you guys. Shimon, do you know any friends of yours or anyone through the Warhammer community who lives in Russia right now, or who lives in Ukraine?
Oh yeah, actually, I do. I'm doing advertisement right on the Instagram page, and actually a lot of the people I promote are from Russia.
Okay.
So they are trying to go around the restrictions, but even they are really impacted. Like the current one I'm doing they are like from Far East Russia, where actually all these stuff, there are a lot of independent on the Chinese market, so it's easier there. But when it comes to it, they feel it. One of them, actually, second Instagram page which posts art, the guy running it is actually thinking about leaving Russia at the moment, because he has the family, he needs to feed. Again, a lot of Western brands are pulling back from Russia, which might say, oh, so they won't have Coca-Cola or something, but they are losing job places there, right, in the Russia. So there will be a lot of people without work soon, and they are all afraid of it, I believe. Like,
I'd be terrified. It's tragic, because obviously I'd be terrified if I was a Ukrainian, and I think I'd be in many different ways terrified if I was a Russian. And you have no control on either side if you're just a dude. And either way, it's like, this is the end of so many things for me. And it's very sad, but I hope. Yeah, I mean, Russia has lost so much of its heart trying to do this, and I think you said you believe they will take that land. And do you think? I mean, obviously it's hard to tell, but do you think they'll really stop after that, or do you think they're going to continue? Because I've heard a lot of conjecture, like this is them wanting to sort of fight the world.
Look, again, they lost in the Ukraine, right? And they were they are essentially fighting people who just took the rifle to defend their country. Essentially they are fighting the whole world, right? But not skill-wise.
Right. And
if they were to go, anywhere else, it's NATO, right? Again, going somewhere else, you would start Third World War. And seeing how they are great in the Ukraine, they cannot go to the Poland, because Poland is preparing for this moment ever since the Soviet Union fell, right? Yeah. So they just cannot do that, right?
Yeah.
They showed us that they cannot do that, because
I think it would end, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but just those examples of Coca-Cola and McDonald's, right? Let's say they fully take over Ukraine, that's all said and done, and they try to spread further. If the rest of the world doesn't do business with them, they're fucked. They can't continue. If the rest of the world stands together, like, no, we're not going to trade with you, then they're done. Yeah. They're done.
I mean, taking whole Ukraine is, again, a huge logistical issue, because you would take over the land, right? But again, there is 1 million of pissed, armed guys who are going to fight you, so that they would need to have a huge military presence in the in the Ukraine to keep the civilian population, in some order.
Yeah.
Which cannot happen. They cannot, again, they failed invasion to the neighboring country. They cannot keep control over the whole area,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Where there are armed people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they just showed us that they are not just they're. Yeah. I mean, again, how was the meme, right? They have these two main guys, the Shoigu and the Gerasimov, and there was this picture that when they were on the Putin on meeting with him, and they were both looking kind of scared because that was the beginning of this Specialna Wojska Operacja, right? The special operation, right? And they were both looking kind of scared, and that was the meme, like on the one guy play when you find out when you were selling the half of the gas for the army and find out that Simonov was selling the second half.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're. I mean, that's the Russia, right? Everyone is stealing something somewhere.
Right.
The bummer,
That's
man.
the
Crazy.
that's the Slav life, right?
Yeah. Well, let's maybe turn the gears for a second. Thank you for talking about that. It's good to have like an inside source on that. But what's some positive stuff about Czech life that you could talk about for us? Like the beer looks great. Looks like a lot of beautiful women where you're at. A lot of positive history there. It looks like, if we were to come out there sometime, hopefully within the next couple of years, what would be some stuff you'd think we should check out?
Check out, right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's all you said. It's nice culture, nice buildings, historical ones, great and cheap beer, and I mean, again, you can visit the Prague, right? I would totally take you to the place I work and live, the Kutná Hora, which I sent actual pictures yesterday, right? Because I believe it's a nice town, and you can sit on the train, hop on the train, sit 1 hour in train, and you're in Kutná Hora, right? And that's cheap town, and you would be enjoying something different. There is a lot of stuff in Czech Republic to see, if you like castles and history, I guess. If you don't, you can go
Love
to
castles.
Yeah. I've
you
never
can go to the pub, I actually hate like going in castles and chateaus and stuff like that. At this moment, because it actually kinda is always the same, and
Yeah.
there is our hunting stair, where you see all these weapons and stuff. I mean, it's always there. It's just
And then you get a dad
different visually,
tires in there, right?
but it's always the stair, the hunting stair. You see the weapons, and it's always there. Just
Yeah.
different. Visually, like different. I like to look at these buildings from outside. Even the cathedrals. I hate to. I'm not a religious person, so I'm not going inside, right? So I can enjoy it from outside. You see the the colorful glass, windows. I'm not sure how it's called in English.
Yeah, stained glass.
Yeah. It's always the same when it comes to it, so I don't really need to go inside. But I can enjoy that outside perspective because those buildings took, even maybe centuries to be built, right?
Mhm.
So. And they are looking really majestic. Probably I sent you the picture from Kutná Hora yesterday, where there was the San Barbara Cathedral. It's
beautiful.
huge, right? It's a beautiful building. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff like that, and you don't need to go to outside. You can stay outside and drink the beer, and enjoy the view. That's the way, right?
Looks like paradise, honestly.
I mean, as long as the beer is cheap, it's paradise.
Perfect. The lifeblood of the Czech Republic.
That is a good way to put it. It's a good summary. Yeah.
Yeah, we do enjoy that a lot.
Emmett, did you have a few more questions for Shimon?
Nothing off the top of my head, buddy. I appreciate you talking to us, and we hope to do this kind of stuff soon. I like this sort of collaborative effort and discussion.
Once the sun doesn't get once the sunset isn't that early, I believe we could do some walk through, actually maybe Kutná Hora, where we could talk, and I would show you some stuff. Even here in the Westminster, I'm trying to speak Czech. The village I live in, the Chodošice, I could show you around, but again, it's still early, almost summer, or it's spring, so it gets dark fairly soon.
Oh, gotcha. And it's also tricky with the time difference too. So we appreciate you,
Oh yeah.
staying up to do it.
But
Because
no,
here
I
it's like
mean, this time,
1 o'clock, and there it's like what 10 o'clock your time. So
yeah, this time is fine actually.
Cool.
Again, just but in the summer it get the sun is out for longer periods, so I could actually go there and show stuff around. It would be much again, hoping this will happen again because why not
Absolutely.
really?
Well, we've been meaning to do this and have more guests on the podcast. So we figured, haven't had too many guests, so we thought who better than our first fan. So we really appreciate you, man.
I mentioned earlier in the go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead, Em.
I was saying I mentioned earlier in our little patron chat there that I thought it'd be cool to have like a sort of larger Discord call where we all just like have drinks and kind of hang out. I think that'd be super.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we could do like a patron hangout, maybe like an OG Unfazed crew hangout.
Yeah. Hopefully, I will get to the USA too, right? I wrote you, Ben, right? I've been checking the tickets for the plane, right? It's not extremely expensive, so I'm actually thinking that will be like option to do so early.
That would be great, man. You said it's through work, or would it be just for fun, or kind of a little bit of both?
Oh yeah, again, within your work, extra cash always is great, and seeing how the tickets are, why not? Again, I will try to drink your beer.
That would be great, man.
Try
and I will
some
actually,
red wine.
I mean, we drink wine a lot, actually.
What's your favorite kind of red wine? I'll try some. I'll get some.
First of all, sorry, Emmett, I don't really necessarily enjoy red wine.
Oh,
stab to the heart. No yellowtail for Warhammer.
Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, red wine is something you, as we say, you need to drink to it. Like, you need to drink enough of it so you start enjoying it.
Right.
Probably, I cannot drink to it when I'm trying to get around it. So for now, red wine. There is
all right, man.
From white wine. I can't really mention what white wine I prefer. Again, I enjoy some Czech brands there because we have some wineries here. Yeah, it's
okay, cool. Well, I'll also try some Czech red wine regardless. See how I like.
Now Emmett hates Warhammer.
The feud is brewing.
Friendship over, dude.
Friendship over, man. Yeah, red wine. I don't know. It's just taste. Is too strong taste for me? I don't know.
I feel that. Yeah.
We'll force it.
Yeah. I enjoy this, sweeter white wines. That's where I'm at.
The Moskatos, the dessert wine, stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, we drink wine. I'm personally can go with bottle here and there, but still, I'm this beer guy.
Cool, man.
So is drinking? I'm sorry, Emma. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we definitely need to get together and drink sometime, and maybe we could do a whole little video about our favorite.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would like that. I was gonna say. Sorry, guys. I got a little delay. My bad. I was gonna say is the drinking culture out there. It looks like Czech Republic, Germany, places like that. It's a lot more like mainstream. Like people drink like with their lunch more, and like it's a little more like socially acceptable. Like make it like part of your day.
We drink earlier than you do officially, right? Our drinking age in Czech Republic is 18, not 21, right?
Okay.
And we grow up on village. You grow up with that mentality. You go with your dad to field. There always is some pub, and you are this young little kiddo, and you are, Dad, I'm thirsty. So he just gives you the beer, right? And again, it's normal here. Essentially, we are starting at 15 years. Like that's the first actually party I got drunk at. I was 15 years old, and I
feel like that kind of takes the stigma away from it a little bit. Like when you can have it so early, it almost makes it like I feel like there's probably less alcoholics where you live, like because it doesn't have that taboo around it.
I don't necessarily think so, or I don't know how it's bad with alcoholics in USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know some people who are totally alcoholic, right? Here, it just depends. But I guess it depends, right? We are, or my family, we are, my current family, right? We are still like mostly like beer drinkers. While I know the people who are into the spirit drinks, right? A lot, and that's what fucks you up the most. The fact that I'm going here and there, 3 beers, it's nothing at this moment.
Yeah.
You don't feel it, right? But there are people who are destructively drinking themselves, and they are fucked every night, which I'm not, right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference, I guess. I mean, it's alcohol, right? You need to know the limits.
Of course.
You need to know when to stop.
Moderation is key, right?
Well, I think like anything, and like a lot of the stuff we say in our podcast, it sounds like you treat it the same as we do essentially, but just because we have more restrictions on it, like Ben was saying, there is sort of a stigma surrounding it. And generally speaking, I think when you're not allowed something, people want it in an unhealthy way. So being a little more liberal with it makes it healthier. And I'm envious of that culture, and I wish we had that here, and I think that's generally a good thing.
And I believe in Germany, they can drink beer even earlier. I believe you can drink beer in Germany, and I might be wrong.
Based on that
in 16, I believe.
German in Venice video, he was saying 16 is the legal age there for.
Yeah. Beer and stuff.
Isn't that crazy?
So I guess we are still early there, right? But yeah, in Germany it's 16 for beer and these week's things. I mean, when it comes to it, does it need to be legal again? We were partying when we were 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
You go to the store, you just take these Friscos, and these all light drinks, and they're like, okay, they sell it to you anyway. So
seems like how it was here, probably in like maybe the 1970s, where it was like more lax about that kind of stuff. Maybe not as much as you guys, but just based on like what my dad said about partying back in the 70s and stuff like that, it was not as serious as it is now in terms of like restrictions on getting stuff like that.
I believe, from what I've heard from my dad, right, during there was the socialism, right, the Soviet era. Actually, it was bigger issue if someone caught you, because it was all tied up with this political system. Is or that in the party. So my dad actually was probably 15 years old, and he was caught smoking, and he actually got like bad mark for behaving in the school. And it was the police, and it was all political, so it got to the school, and his parents were somewhere. So yeah, actually it was probably even harder before for us, because if you were caught, there would be issues coming with it, and right now no one really cares. I mean, police just maybe calls your parents if you are caught somewhere. Police are calling your parents, and that's all of it. Like,
Interesting. Yeah, cultural differences, man. But that's it's great to hear.
Totally.
I love hearing about that kind of stuff, because like sometimes you don't really think about it until you come face to face with someone else, living on the other side of the world, and you're like, oh shit, like it's fascinating. We love that kind of stuff, and like Emma was saying, hopefully we can do more of this soon.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm open for it. Again, in the summer when the sun doesn't go down, that early, we are just able to go through the whole night when it comes to it, right?
I think what I'm gonna do, and what I started doing before this actually, I'm gonna have a patron only video or voice chat on the Discord, so we can just pop in whenever we want and kind of have a drink and chat. I think that'd be cool.
That would be very cool.
Everyone else can see us and be jealous and want to become a patron themselves.
Yes. If you guys want to join the club, become a freaking patron.
Yeah.
That's the marketing
like
there. Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for doing this, dude. We really love and appreciate you, and just thank you. Like, honestly, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Having chat with friends, right? I mean,
exactly.
And I'm actually happy that I can call you. We've never seen each other in the person for now, but again, we can call each other friends, right?
Yeah.
You are a friend officially, brother. You are officially a friend.
Only one thing I have to point out, Emmett, I sent you a book, and I need the review of it.
You're right. Yeah, I've read the beginning of it, buddy. And next rarely reading we do, that will be the novel. Okay, for sure. Thank you. That was so sweet of you.
You owe me that one.
I do owe you that one. Totally. I appreciate it.
Perfect. All right, Shimon, appreciate you, man. Remain unfazed, brother. We love you.
You too, boys.
Take care, buddy.
All right. See ya.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Shimon. Amazing dude, super cool. And yeah, we're drinking this amazing Czech beer and having a
This
great
is a
time.
good beer. It has a kick to it. It's nice though. It's smooth, but it's got a kick. It's nice.
Yeah, I think it's my first time having Czech beer. It's not my first time having a Pilsner.
Yeah,
But it's my first time having Pilsner Urkel.
Urkel, yeah.
Steve Urkel, Family Matters. Yes. Warhammer, if that is your first time hearing that reference, do yourself a favor and look up Steve Urkel. Family Matters. Super funny.
Iconic figure.
Hey, got any cheese?
Yeah.
You'll probably know him when you see him.
So one thing we've been meaning to talk about for a while now, I think, is the whole. And I know it's kind of late news, but I do prefer to kind of talk about things once they've blown over a little bit, so you can get a full sense of it.
For sure.
Is the herd versus depth thing?
Oh yeah. I actually wanted to do a reaction video of us reacting to some of that, but we never did.
Yeah,
but
we can talk about
let's
it.
talk about it. Yeah, let's do it.
So I think this is really good and it's historically significant because
For sure.
There was all this Me Too movement stuff going on, and this is obviously the most, I think, high profile case of someone getting falsely Me Too'd, and that is a really important thing because it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is clearly a monster,
Piece of shit.
and I think the votes and certainly the reaction of the world is nearly unanimous.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awful.
Yeah, she's
Her career's done.
Yeah, she's done. And she didn't have a career really to begin with. I mean, she's in a few hit movies, I guess, but
Yeah.
like compared to Depp, dude, like I'd never really heard of her before this, to be honest. Yeah,
I think more people knew about her just being married to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love Johnny Depp. I think he's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect for the guy. Excuse me. You're burping up the Czech beer.
I will say, I think Depp is a cool guy. I will say through this whole thing, the internet does the same shit they do with everything. Where, it's nice to cheer on Depp because of course he is you want him to win in this situation, but the internet has to make him this super wholesome dude, and then there's all those highlights of all the times he laughs and stuff. Look at Depp laughing so funny, isn't he a cool guy? I will say I can't point to anything in particular because I haven't watched a lot of the case, but I've watched some.
I watched the funny Mimi highlights.
Yeah, right. I mean, I have watched some of the actual just trial, and I try to avoid the memes.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking weird guy too, and he's obviously she's in the wrong fully, but he is also just sort of a bizarre dude who's I don't know. And
I feel like how could he not be?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then that's my point is I think most, and this isn't really anything we think about. But I think most celebrities are fucking wackos, to be honest.
There's a lot of weirdos. Yeah.
There's
you kind of have to be.
Yeah, there's a few, and I get it. I get how you get there and everything. I've nothing against them really, but I think most of them are sort of, to be honest, socially awkward and have got this weird warped sense of the world.
For sure.
And they're just kind of bizarre human beings. I think there's a handful that seem genuine. Ethan Hawke has always seemed really genuine.
I like Ethan Hawke.
He seemed like he has a head on his shoulders.
I think you like him in Moon Knight.
Yeah, I do need to check that out.
Yeah.
And obviously not all of them, but a lot of the high-profile actors out there, they're fucking bizarre human beings.
There's some weirdos. I mean, you hear about them.
Yeah,
It's like hearing that stuff come out about Armie Hammer. I was like, are we surprised?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, look what they do for a living.
Yeah, everyone
it's
thinks these guys are so wholesome.
Yeah, they're not all wholesome. They're all flawed human beings.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm rooting for Depp, but
for sure.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, greatest guy ever. Yeah, we all love him for his character, but you know.
Sure.
And the other thing that's weird is the other thing I've been noticing is that I think a lot of actors, and him included, are so successful because of their weird fucking voices.
Oh yeah.
That he has a bizarre voice. And when you take it out of the context of a film, it's just a weird guy, you know?
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe's another guy, he's a terrifying dude. If you just encounters him at 7-Eleven, you'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Have Johnny Depp and Willem Dafoe been in a movie together?
I don't think so. They should, hopefully. And then another one would be John Malkovich. What the fuck is wrong with him? You know? He's great. He's a great actor, but why? Why does he sound like that?
I don't know.
It's just weird.
Chris Walken.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's
J-Man.
I don't know. They're all weird to begin with. It's just when you put them behind the camera, they're good because they are weird. And
the weirdness, we let it slide because we love them as actors.
Yeah.
You know, you forget about them being real dudes, living real lives, living in real houses. It's you see them as Jack Sparrow or as, John Dillinger or whatever your favorite Johnny Depp role is, you know? or as a Hollywood vampire. It's like he's got that mix of being a rock star and an actor.
Yeah,
so it's like he's all over the place. I love the guy. I love the guy.
I love him too. Yeah, but I'm just like, you gotta be aware that these guys are. It's I think it's why that phrase, don't meet your heroes is a real thing.
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like within the public realm, there are these great guys, but I'm sure he's done some sketchy shit and wasn't that great at times. But and he's done so many drugs. The dude's whole life and a lot of his acting career is based off of that whole world that he's been in, where he's like constantly like on something.
I'm sure he's dabbled quite a bit.
And you see that in all of his characters in Fear and Loathing, and then in Jack Sparrow, he's like always like, and you know he got that from just because that's kind of the life he's lived, and he's just kind of in that, and that makes sense and that's fine. But it's just people get so like passionate about these things, and they're either like really behind someone 2,000% and then want to kill the other guy.
Yeah.
But like obviously, Amber Heard is a horrific piece of shit.
She's a nightmare.
I'm not doubting that at all. But just like when I start to see the same like wholesome guy shit that you see with like Keanu and all that stuff always kind of bugs me a little,
That was a very Norm Macdonald. One thing I hope with this is I hope this is a victory for men, and I hope this is a victory just for people out there who have been falsely accused of things. And you see that there's another side to the coin, and there's crazy bitches like Amber Heard out there 100%. Who are just trying to tarnish people's good names for money and for. I don't know really what her end game was. Probably money.
Yeah, probably.
Probably money. But, so I think this is score one for the home team, and bitches like Amber Heard need to just go away.
And right at this time, that movie Men is coming out.
There you go. Look at him. He's doing multiple roles.
Which breaks my heart, because Ex Machina is such a good movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
I'm stoked to watch it. I know. Shocker. Never watched it.
Yeah. Really?
Never watched
it. Wow.
No?
Okay, you should watch it.
Yeah, he told me it's amazing.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's so good. But this one I'm not too. I almost don't want to watch it just because I don't want to tarnish the. Yeah. But that's another important rule is like you can't like something from a guy and then dislike something from the same guy.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I worship the first two Spider-Man movies, and I even accept the third one as is. But the first Spider-Man movie changed my life. One of my favorite films ever.
We made a whole video on that recently. Go check it out.
Go check it out if you haven't watched it after this one. But then I saw the new Doctor Strange movie. Complete horseshit. One of the worst movies I've seen ever. It was really, really, really bad. For those of you that liked it, cool. I'm glad your standards are so low. But I hated it. The new Doctor Strange movie was awful. It was one of the worst Marvel movies of the last 20 years.
If you would like to, I don't mind. And for you guys who do mind, skip ahead. But give me some specifics. Like I want to. Okay. I saw your review on Vox, so go check out his No Expectations review.
Yes,
but I want to. Please tell me more. Okay. I feel like you held back a little bit just because James was there.
I did hold back.
Please tell me.
It was such a piece of shit. And if you guys don't want spoilers, skip ahead 3-4 minutes. Okay. Spoilers coming ahead. The acting. Sorry, keep belching. The acting. Horrific. Every side character in there was this shiny, weird Disney freak that didn't know how to act. That was just like a stand-in that got shoved in. America Chavez, one of the worst Marvel characters I have ever seen in my life. She was like this horrible Hallmark actress who came in and was suddenly supposed to be propped up as one of the leads. This girl, no offense to her, I'm sure she's young. She's like 16 or 17. Yeah. Fucking terrible actress. Like, she was just awful. And also, it was so painfully PC. Yeah. It was like, her lesbian mom's being killed. It was like, Dr. Strange was like, your moms will be proud. And like, it was... and not to say that there aren't lesbians out there. I get it. It's important. But when it's being put in these situations that feel so phony, that's when I'm like, Disney, we know what you're doing, and it's cheap.
The whole point of her character is so... I mean, it's politically charged, obviously. Her name is America Chavez.
Yeah.
Immediately, it's like, it's just making a statement.
They're saving America.
Her parents are lesbians. So it's like, clearly she's like this liberal stand-in.
Yeah,
like,
and she was. And I don't know if she's a pre-existing character, probably.
She is,
but I'm sure she's one of those that's like from
she's a fairly recent.
I'm sure she's one of those from like the reading is fun. Here's a free comic book that you can throw away later. Yeah. She's one of those where it's like drawn and they're all like drinking milk in the front. Like,
you know about Ironheart? Ironheart is like the next Iron Man. It's a young black girl.
Riri Williams.
Yeah, Riri Williams.
I do know about Riri. Yeah. Here's my thing with it. to not be the evil white man on the internet spewing hate. That's not me. What I'm doing is I'm criticizing them because what I think they're doing is cheap. Now, are there a place for these characters in cinema? Absolutely, but it has to be authentic. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
also
like it's like yes, are there gay people out there? 100%. But do you need to put it into the story like that when it how do I say this? I think a lot of times it just feels forced and it feels cheap. And I look at it and I say, Disney, I know what you're doing. Like,
I mean, there's a way to do it tastefully, but they always like have to be so brazen and obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
To the point where you can't treat it as a character. You can't be immersed at all because it's so obvious. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly.
And Riri Williams, like, I remember in the comics, they're all like tooting her as like the smartest person in the world, and she's getting all these awards and shit. And it's like, and they're making a point of like how she's way smarter than Tony Stark. And it's just like it's fucking annoying.
It feels, you know what it feels like? It feels insulting to those groups.
Yeah.
I feel like you look at it and it's kind of like, I don't know. It almost seems like you're saying that she's not good enough, so you have to build her up 10 times as much.
Exactly. The more they do that, the more, you are. The subtext is you're really not there yet. You know.
So they gotta like bolster it up.
Yeah. You need a genuinely interesting hero, and then like just by happenstance, gay. You know, like you can't make it the whole like theme of their fucking
like for instance, here's a show that did it much better. Barry, TV show Barry, NoHo Hank, gay character.
Yeah.
It's not shoved in your face. Like as the series goes on, you're like, oh, NoHo Hank has a boyfriend, and it's like, okay, like he's a gay character. That's fine. It doesn't detract from the character anyway. It's like that's who he is, and it also does fit into the story in a way because his boyfriend is involved with this crime group and anyway, it wouldn't have made sense had that been a girl. They did it very well. The way they did it was very well.
And then even the race stuff, I don't mind at all. Like Miles Morales is sick. I love
very cool.
He's tight. Very really cool.
Yeah.
He has his own cool story. He's uniquely identifiable, and it's not like in your face. It's just very matter of fact. Like he is what he is.
For sure.
Keep going. Sure. It's great. That's well done.
I agree.
I've always thought he was cool, but when it's clearly
when it's shoved down your throat and it feels orchestrated, and it doesn't jive with the story, and it just feels like they're trying to meet a quota. I think that's insulting the intelligence of the audience.
Yeah.
And I think it's defeating the purpose of having interesting and diverse characters when you're forcing diversity and it feels strange.
Yeah, and I don't even mind. I've been playing the. This one's kind of shitty. I've been playing the Avengers game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but the dialogue's really bad. However, the other game that was made by the same company because they're very similar games, the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I still think you should play.
Oh yeah,
I saw some of it. It won some awards as being like one of the great narrative games of the last couple of years. Great game. But yeah, I've been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy is great. Go check it out. The game. But I've been playing the Avengers game as well because Guardians was so cool. Yeah. Not as good, still fun, but
does have a story.
I don't even mind Kamala Khan. Like she's Miss Marvel and she's like the stretchy one.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala Harris. She's like her dialogue is really bad. They make her this like peppy sort of like she's like a Marvel fan almost, and it's like too annoying. And when I played the beginning and she's like you play as her and she's a little kid and she's just like a Marvel fangirl.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, she's going almost. It's like a Comic-Con thing she's going to, but like the Avengers are actually
Is it like the Tomb Raider way of telling the story where you play as little Laura?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're going up to like Thor getting his autograph and stuff, and it could be fun and sweet, but they made it like too obnoxious. But as I played it, as I got through the really obnoxious shit, I really didn't mind her. Like she has her own unique abilities. She has her own shit going for her. Like it's fine. That stuff is fine. I don't mind it. Until it's clearly like the most important aspect of the character.
Until it's insulting your intelligence.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So
but that was one thing I really didn't like about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The kids in there were all, I don't know if they were Raimi's like nephews or something, but they were just like way too old to be talking the way they were talking, and they were just so stupid. The writing was really bad.
Wow.
Like you watch it and you're like, this is not a tight script. Like this could have used a couple rewrites.
Yeah.
Like it was rewrite. And I don't mean to be just a film snob saying that, but really watch it and tell me, it's as cohesive as any of the original Spider-Man movies or even the Andrew Garfield Spideys. It's not. It's not even as cohesive as the last Thor Ragnarok movie.
No shit.
Like Thor Ragnarok was a lot more coherent than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Oh, that's terrible. I hated that movie.
I agree. It wasn't that great. But that was the thing I had an issue with. it just too much CGI, and I get it. You know, some people are like, well, how else are you supposed to do it? There's a balance. You can achieve a healthy balance between practical effects and great sets, and using CGI sparingly or intelligently. This one had like a giant fucking octopus in the beginning. It was just stupid. It looked like shit.
Then his face gets all like Rubik's Cube and shit. I saw it in the trailer.
His third eye that he has, it looked like something that like a kid did as like one of his first like After Effects.
Yeah.
I just had a lot of qualms with it.
I'll be honest, like I know the first Doctor Strange won a lot of awards for it, but I even thought the first Doctor Strange looked really messy.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it.
I enjoyed the first Doctor Strange. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I enjoyed it. It made me like the character. I was a fan of it. I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. It was enjoyable. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this one just really dropped the ball. Those are the only examples I can think of off the top of my head. Really shitty dialogue, really shitty acting, really shitty pacing in the script, and it just, I don't know, man. It felt like they took Sam Raimi, who is a very, very talented director, and they literally like held a gun up to his head and were like, "We're Disney. You need to do it this way, or else you're not working again, buddy." And he was like, "Okay." Yeah. And I feel like. Now James disagreed with me. He said that he felt like it was Raimi's thumbprints all over it. I disagree. You got a bit of his horror style, but it was very castrated. Yeah. It was like very pulled back, and it wasn't enough. You know, it made me laugh out loud multiple times. Like that's why I want Emmett to watch it. Because it was like so laughably bad. Okay. And then if you like the movie, cool. I'm glad you found the entertainment value in it. But for me, like I was talking to one of my friends at work who saw it. And like she was like, "What'd you think of it?" And I was like, "I think it was shit." And then she's like, "Oh, me too."
Good, okay.
And she was so relieved. She's like, "It was one of the worst movies I've seen in a while." Good, and I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm not crazy." And then I talked to another friend, and he was like, "What'd you think?" And I was like, "Shit." And he was like, "I agree."
Wow. Okay. So you're the only one. Yeah.
So there's quite a few people. So if you liked it, please tell us why. I respect your difference of opinion. But everyone else who hated on it, that's what I really want to hear.
Yeah.
Please tear it apart in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, because that movie, I cannot wait for you to see it.
I
want to rewatch it with Emmett just to watch him laugh at it. Like,
I would love to do that.
It's one of those that's almost so bad it's good, but not quite. It's just bad.
And I really can't wait to see it because I'm way harder on these movies than you are. I really didn't like the last Spider-Man that much.
Oh, wow. I thought that was good.
Yeah, you loved it. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, but I was really just kind of like...
Because I went in with very low expectations.
Yeah.
No expectations.
Yeah. So I know I'm gonna. I literally can't. Wait to watch
it's one of the worst movies I've seen in ever.
Wow.
It's really. I'm shocked Sam Raimi directed it. I was
so sad.
Shocked. It's a piece of crap. It's a steaming pile of shit.
All right, I'm excited for it.
A steaming pile of shit. But the Batman, highly enjoyable.
That one I also got to see.
I really enjoyed the Batman. So if you got to pick between the two, watch Batman. It's much better. So that's my movie rant. Yeah. As far as TV shows, Moon Knight was highly enjoyable. It did fly off the rails at the end, so spoiler alert. But I would say 5 out of 6 episodes are totally worth the watch.
One thing I meant to mention when you talked about Ragnarok, who's the director? Like Taika Waititi or some shit?
Don't care.
Yeah, he is going to be directing one of the new... It's either a series or a new film, but Star Wars. I know. I'm really sad, yeah.
Oh boy.
And honestly, everyone's gonna fucking hate me for this, but I don't like the dude with the cowboy hat who wrote all the Clone Wars cartoons and shit. I really don't like his stuff. I don't know his name either, but he's always got a cowboy hat on.
Sounds like a shtick.
Yeah, it's too much. Like there's one thing. There's 2 aspects about the Clone Wars cartoon that I just that stops me from watching it. Well, actually 3. So Darth Maul comes back with robot legs. Hate that. Yeah. He was cut in half.
He died.
Fell down a bottomless pit. He's done, guys.
Obi-Wan
that's it.
Axed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second aspect of Darth Maul is that he's clearly just like a visual representation of the evil of the Sith coming back. Yeah. Like he's not supposed to be a fully fleshed out, human-esque character.
He was cool when he barely spoke.
Yeah. He's representative of that evil. That's why he looks like a devil. That's why he barely speaks. He's this mysterious evil coming back. That's the point of the character. After he dies, he's done. He's like the messenger of the gods, right? So like he served his purpose. He's done. He's dead. The other thing is Ahsoka. You know about Ahsoka?
No.
You know who that is?
I know Super Ahsoka.
Super Ahsoka's way better. Ahsoka she was from the Clone Wars, and she's also in the Mandalorian series. She's like the alien chick with the blue lightsaber. Yeah. So she is in the Clone Wars. She's Anakin's Padawan. So like Obi-Wan is training Anakin, and then this doesn't make any sense to me. The council says, hey, because we don't trust Anakin, in order to prove himself, we're going to give him his own Padawan. To me, that's really backwards thinking, and like they never do that. They don't. If they wouldn't give him this like child to train if they didn't trust him. That's such a stupid maneuver, and it makes things messy. Like you're supposed to have there's supposed to be a master and a Padawan. That's it. But it's like master, Padawan, and then other master to this other Padawan.
Strange choice.
So and then she's just I don't get it. And then it just seems like a dumb move. And then Obi-Wan also has Obi-Wan, who's one of my favorite characters ever. He's like, this is the greatest guy. He really is. So
Thanks, man.
Yeah. He also has like a secret love interest, which I don't like. Because that's supposed to be...
I didn't know about it.
No, that ruins the whole point of his character, I feel like. Yeah. He's supposed to be the quintessential Jedi, follows the rules, devout, monkish guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the hermit jerking off.
Yeah, who's trying to steer Anakin in the right direction. He can't have his own, like, it's so messy. Yeah. Anakin has Padme, and then he has his own, like, how many other Jedi have their own. And it's like, I know people are like, well, it humanizes him. It's like, no, like, real monks never, ever. Like, they're and real, Orthodox people in the past and currently, never, ever. Like, you can do that and still be a human being. There's so many issues with it. And anyway, that guy is... I'm so pissed off because there was this beautiful series of comics I read when I was a kid called Tales of the Jedi. It was about, like, really ancient Jedi. And it was just so cool. Dark Horse, yeah. They were, like, beautifully drawn. They were so... It was, like, epic and tragic and fun and cool. And the cowboy hat guy who wrote Clone Wars is going to be directing a new show called Tales of the Jedi.
Got it.
So he's like taking it, and I know he's gonna fuck it. I'm just so sad. Yeah. So the whole state of Disney.
You and I both think that everyone's super excited about Obi-Wan. I think we both think there's a high chance that you're gonna fuck it up.
I'm not excited at all. Yeah, I'm really not. Like, it's cool that they're getting the actors back. Honestly, I'm tired of the getting the actors back thing. That's been like holding up Disney for the last few years,
like the last decade.
Yeah. Oh, remember this guy? Remember this guy? It's like, just fucking stop. Like, it's
remember
cool.
This? Remember Death Star?
Yeah, exactly. Like that video, But, it's a one-trick pony, and honestly, like, it makes me kind of depressed seeing some of these guys come back. Like, old Hayden Christensen coming back. I'm not excited for it.
I'm going to watch it, but I just know at the end of the day, Disney has to have its seal of approval on it, and they're going to make it into some weird amalgamation of other things that we don't like. Yeah,
it creates too much stuff. Like, what a fucking messy world we have.
It is messy.
It's like there's always shit going on. That should be a time in Obi-Wan's life where, like, nothing's happening. That's fine. Yeah. They're all like lulls in people's lives that shouldn't be filled with like action-packed crap. Yeah. And it's just like every second of every character's life in Star Wars now is like filled with all this shit.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Yeah, if we get this amazing gift of an amazing Obi-Wan show, I'll be stoked. I'm still gonna watch it. But is there a high risk factor for it going off the rails and being shitty? Yeah. For sure. So I just don't hold my breath. But I'm still gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it the benefit of a doubt.
And then they're trying to and then they don't understand so many of these characters, and that's evident on the fact that they're trying to make a Boba Fett show. But the cool thing also about Boba Fett is that he's mysterious, and he's like neutral, and he's like kind of a dick. There was a Boba Fett comic I read when I was a kid about these Jawas pulling him out of the Sarlacc pit, and they at first are like, they're Jawas and they're just rummaging for all his gadgets and shit, but they end up like nursing him back to health, and Boba like lets them nurse him back to health, and as soon as he gets his crap back, he like kills all the Jawas and takes his shit. So like he's supposed to be like kind of a mean guy that's just like in it for himself, and that's cool. But I haven't seen any of the Disney shit, the show yet, but I know they made him into this like fun, jokey guy. Like, Boba Fett is not supposed to be a jokey guy.
You know what I think they messed up on? I only watched the majority of the first season. It just didn't draw me in. Sorry, guys. I know a lot of people like it, but it just... I don't know. I just didn't care.
Which one?
Boba Fett.
Oh, you watched it?
I'm sorry, no. The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. Yeah. And I started watching that one, and the thing about it that I didn't like was, like, by episode 2, he had the child.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so like he was like intense for like
one scene,
not even an episode.
Yeah.
And then immediately he's like a babysitter.
Yeah. The very first scene, he like kills all these guys in a bar. Cool. Yeah. And then immediately he's like, "Oh, I need to take care of babe."
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what would have been a really cool reveal that in the very last episode, in the finale of the first season.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, now you got to take this really crazy character, and he's got to be like nurturing or whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
and everyone can get their Baby Yoda, time.
Like everyone's immediately a good guy. It's just so
Yeah, I'm like, how about he be a hardened badass and you don't throw a fucking baby at him?
Yeah, like him and Boba and Luke are all working together. Luke, I don't want to see Luke. Like, stop.
Yeah.
And they brought him with the CGI. I'm so done with all that
It's
shit.
just they're just
Too
taking
much,
nostalgia and like choking you with it.
I'd a million times rather rewatch Empire Strikes Back than watch any of this shit.
Oh,
you know, or episode 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Anyway.
it's too much, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and they know exactly what they're doing,
They
and
do.
people are buying into it.
People are buying.
What I can't stand are the people who are we talked about earlier.
Yep,
the
go
people
ahead.
who are not real Star Wars fans, but they're like these like Disney Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
That come in and they do it just almost to appear to because it's like cool, like nerdy is cool now.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So like nerd culture and like being a fan of all the superhero stuff and being a fan of all the Star Wars stuff. It's cool when it's authentic, when it's the real deal. But there's a lot of people that are coming in, especially a lot of girls. No offense, ladies, that come in and
I think Baby Yoda's cute.
they're not the real deal,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're just trying to do it because it's like trendy to be a nerd, and they like to dress up sexy and go to Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and it's true because, I mean, part of the...
It's fake.
Yeah. Part of the appeal that, Disney is trying to present to the audience is like all this fan service shit. Like, it's all the characters you remember. Excuse me. The interesting thing is that, they're almost developing this whole new fan base that's like almost pretending that they're like excited.
Yeah.
Like, some chick like watched A New Hope once.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I was just like, I remember. It's like, no, you don't fucking care.
You don't?
The people who really like give a shit,
exactly.
they're like questioning all this.
I worry about the people who didn't watch them, like, the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy first, and they started with this new shit and worked their way back and then pretended. That's what I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't care if you're younger, as long as you started the appropriate order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But who am I to say? What the fuck do I know? Time for a commercial break.
I gotta eat.
There's something over there. Can't get anywhere. Just down the road away. Anytime, any day. It's what's happening next. It's where best meets west. You gotta cross it, jump it, bust it, bump it. Gotta cross it, jump it, bust it, bump it. Taco Bell at your order.
I'm starved.
Make a run for the border.
To koukáte, pane Norris, kolik máme programů? Zprávy, sport, příroda, 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 příroda. Kdyby vás to nebavilo, tak já to přepnu. Doufám, že jenom usnul.
To je moc i na Chucka Norrise. Nová HD satelitní televize od T-Mobile se stovkami programů.
This week at all Record Bar outlets, a new dimension of sight and sound. Scotch EG all-purpose video cassettes L750 or T120, only $4.99. Scotch EXG video cassettes unsurpassed color L750 or T120, only $7.99. Scotch video head cleaner, the sure way to clean VCR heads, beta or VHS, only $14.99. On sale now at all Record Bar outlets.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that brief intermission, and I hope you enjoyed hearing us bitch about Star Wars.
So I think it's time to go through the email.
I would love nothing more.
All right.
Really good Czech beer, by the way.
Yeah. It's got a kick. It
Kind of reminds me of Heineken a little bit, but a little more tart. It was good.
Okay, I'm gonna read the subjects here because I love these subjects.
Sure.
In parentheses, lol, dumbest shit. People are praising this artist for how she has perfectly illustrated the struggle of being a woman today. I can't wait.
Sorry, ladies.
So that's fine. People are okay. My mother dreamed about becoming a parent her entire life, just like so many women do. I dream about freedom and creativity and changing the world. Lainey Molner is an artist who is making millions of women feel seen and heard through her drawings. I started creating comics as a hobby during the first COVID lockdown to help me process my own experiences as a woman. That's why I use my own character frequently.
She's a hero, guys.
So it's like a meme. It says my mom at age 31 and she has kids, and then it says me at 31 and she has a drink in her hand and a suitcase and no kids.
Wow, trailblazer.
Wow, really, yeah. Good commissary, I guess. The illustration above is Lainey's favorite. Wow, she's really not very good then. It shows her and her mom at the same age. Yes, I am blessed with a very supportive family that never disapproved of my black sheep stand. You're not a fucking black sheep. She has like a Gucci purse in the picture. But I also never felt understood. Oh, I don't have kids. No one understands. And I was steered in a more traditional direction out of concern. I'll keep reading it, but God, I need to
love you getting irritated. It's the best. I love finding these and knowing Emmett's gonna get pissed off.
These people they're too like sensitive. I don't know what else to say. Like they give way too much of a shit about what everyone thinks. Like just do your own thing, and even if you do your own thing, that's fine. But you don't think you're fucking great for it. I mean, it's like just fucking calm down.
People want People want to make something like this that's like very surface level and like go ahead, make your own choice, no big deal. And they want a fucking standing ovation.
Yeah,
I'm like relax.
Is this a real quote from her? Okay, I'm 33 now. Still single, not considering having children, fine. I don't have a degree, whatever. I can't drive a car, a little weird.
Why can't you drive a car?
I've been self-employed, jumping around gigs my entire life. I have 57 tattoos. Whoa, look at you. I live out of my suitcases and spontaneously buy one-way plane tickets on a regular basis.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna,
Fine,
why do I have to feel like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. Like, is that what you want me to say?
Yeah.
You're living your own life, and also you're doing it quite well if you're able to spontaneously afford plane tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, yeah, who the fuck, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah, fine.
Do your
Stop,
thing.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah. I just don't think you deserve a trophy.
Yeah, no. And she has this other drawing. The caption at the top is, I want to be a mom. And then there's all these different responses from different ladies. One says never, another says soon, one says now, and another says eventually. Yeah, okay, yeah, people can make their own decisions. We know that.
Do your
I
thing.
don't understand this shit.
Do your thing.
She added, my mother dreamed about becoming a parent her entire life, just like so many women do. I dream about, we heard those.
I guess my point at the end of the day is, do we need an article about this?
No, we don't.
Like, do your thing.
Okay, here's the last one I'll read. There's a comic of a woman talking to a guy. The woman says, I'm looking for a serious relationship right now, nothing less. The guy says, I'm not looking for anything serious, but I like you, let's go with the flow. And
God forbid.
Yeah, and then the next thing, he says, she's leaving, and he says, where are you going? And then she says, with the flow. Wow, you told him.
Queen. Preach.
It's just making me so depressed.
Slay queen.
Yeah.
Slay queen.
Here's another one. These are not clever. There's the caption reads, after getting out of a long relationship, and she's like looks really hot. She's like partying, and then the next one says, when getting rejected after going on 5 dates, and she's like crying in her room. What's the point?
I weep for the future.
What the fuck?
I weep for the future. Anyway, I just want to show you that.
I also want to celebrate diversity in all ways.
Oh, there we go.
All right, I'm getting out of this article.
Yeah, I'm gonna go my own way and go with the flow.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just funny that everything has to be like applauded, when you're making like very entry level decisions about your life.
Yeah.
Which you're allowed to do. And like making it sound like, you're in some crazy. She's making it sound like she's living in like some country where like they're gonna slit your throat if you don't get married and have a kid by age 21. Like, live your fucking life, but we don't need to hear about it.
I don't know. Yeah. Christ.
Get over it.
This one, okay, the caption, I agree. The caption for this, or your subject for this one says Serenity Now.
Oh, yeah. So this was interesting. So let me just preface this by saying we are huge fans of Seinfeld, and some of our favorite comedians are Jewish. I thought this was freaking hilarious. There's a website called Jew or Not Jew, and I just couldn't believe that it even exists. And you go on there, and it's like...
explains why.
Jason Alexander. But what's funny about it, too, is it's not just real people. It's fictional characters. So there was this discussion I was hearing. I was watching a podcast, and it was with Joe List and his buddy, not Tuesdays with Stories, but his movie review one. And they're big Seinfeld fans. And his friend was saying to Joe List, he was like, I don't think, George Costanza's a Jew. And then he's like, well, they don't mention him being Jewish anywhere in the story, really.
Right.
And then Joe was like, well, his dad's Italian because Costanza, and then his mom was probably Jewish because she mentions, I would never ride in a German car.
Oh, yeah.
And it's implied, but it's not like explicitly said.
Right. He's very culturally Jewish.
Yeah, anyway, so I looked it up, and the first website that popped up was Jew or Not. And then they decided, for George Costanza, he's, moderately Jewish. I just thought it was a funny website.
Yeah, let me read the little blurb. So it says the actor's name is Jason Alexander. What makes a good actor? Perhaps it's losing oneself in a role. Take Tom Cruise, for instance. In every movie, he plays the same character, a cocky, know-it-all prick. Sometimes he is a pilot.
Love Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I love him too. Yeah. Sometimes he's a lawyer. Sometimes he is an agent, but he's always Tom Cruise. This is not acting, this is posing. This guy really doesn't like Tom Cruise.
Wow, what a dick.
In real life, he's a cocky know-it-all prick. Okay.
Fuck this guy.
Not so with Jason Alexander. George Costanza was neurotic, greedy, and dishonest. Alexander seems well-spoken, charitable, and intelligent. If he is neurotic, greedy, and dishonest in his personal life, he hides it well in public. Talk about good acting. Well, George and Jason do have one thing in common. Costanza, as we just discussed in his own profile, is half Jewish. Okay, Alexander got both halves covered. We are more than happy to add Jason to our list of fine Jewish thespians. Let the Goyim have Tom Cruise. Verdict Jew. What the fuck? What is this website?
I said it was a funny
crazy,
website.
yeah.
Well, it was like the first thing that pop up. You type in, is George Costanza Jewish? And it's like, Jew or not?
This is hilarious.
Kind of amusing.
Okay, the subject for this one you put is prepare for arrival. Tech pioneer warns of alien invasion.
Oh, I don't think I read this article. I
Okay.
just sent it. So take it away. Take it away.
We would talk about this a lot of podcasts, right?
For sure, for
More recent ones. An alien species. Oh, okay, Jesus. An alien species is headed for planet Earth, and we have no reason to believe it will be friendly. Some experts predict it will get here with. Okay, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait. Like this is a lot of this is big information to take in.
Take it away. I think like once you know the context of it, it'll make more sense. If I remember
Some
right.
experts predict it will get here within 30 years, while others insist it will arrive far sooner. No one knows how it will look, but it will share two key traits with us humans. It will be intelligent and self-aware. No, this alien will not come from a distant planet. Oh, they're talking about AI. It will be born right here on Earth, hatched in a research lab at a major university or a large corporation.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You caught me. You got the hook in there.
There you go.
Okay. We'll be born right here on Earth, hatched in a research lab at a major university. I'm referring to AI. AGI, artificial general intelligence that reaches or exceeds human-level cognition. As I write these words, billions are being spent to bring this alien to life, as it would be viewed as one of the greatest technological achievements in human history. But unlike our other inventions, this one will have a mind of its own, literally, and if it behaves like every other intelligent species we know, it will put its own self-interest first, working to maximize its prospects for survival. Yeah, you need to watch Ex Machina.
I can't wait.
Yeah. AI in our own image.
I was actually thinking about watching it last night, but I got
Please do.
Yeah.
Should be fair, superior intelligence driven by its own goals, values, and self-interests. Many people reject this question, believing we will build AI systems in our own image, not in God's image, ensuring they think, feel, and behave just like we do. This is extremely unlikely to be. Yeah, I think everyone agrees at this point that once it's created, like it's out of our hands. You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Prometheus.
I think it's gonna be like. It'll be a long time until it's like Terminator. I think they're going to have a lot of fail-safes to ensure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but
I'm sure it'll happen on a small scale. I don't think it'll ever be like Terminator, where like they gain consciousness and take over the world. But I think you will have, 30 years down the road, machines choking out people. And stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Artificial minds will not be created by writing software with carefully crafted rules. Instead, engineers feed massive data sets into simple algorithms that automatically adjust their own parameters, making millions upon millions of tiny changes to their structure until an intelligence emerges, an intelligence with inner workings that are far too complex for us to comprehend. And no, feeding it data about humans will not make it think like humans. This is a common misconception, the false belief that by training AI on data that describes human behavior, we will ensure it ends up thinking, feeling, and acting like we do. Yeah, of course it won't work. Instead, we will build AI creatures to know humans, not to be human. Yeah, what else can we do?
Yeah.
And yet they will know us inside and out.
They'll be good in the medical field until they're not.
Yeah. Be able to speak our language and interpret our gestures, reading facial expressions, and predict our actions.
You know what would be interesting is when they take over jobs, eventually people will be pissed off, like construction jobs. Those will all be machine. Those will be done by machines probably by the time we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other jobs, I think you'll always need people.
Agreed.
You'll always need people, or at least you'll always want people.
Yeah.
You want to? I mean, do you always want a machine taking your order at a restaurant?
It's a little sad.
Yeah, it'd be a little sad.
But still, their minds will be nothing like ours. To us, they will seem omniscient, linking to remote sensors of all kinds and all places. I portray AGI as having a billion eyes and ears. Yeah, they can. Yeah, okay, they'll be able to like hack into like CCTV and shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I was going with this one. It just sounded interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Food for thought.
It's
food for thought.
Yeah, there's been so many articles and movies and everything. Like everyone knows this is coming.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
It's. I don't think there's obviously.
That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I hope it ends up being as kind and wonderful and selfless
and
altruistic as the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
You gotta press his. There you go.
Oh, there he is. Check him out. Special guest appearance from the Iron Giant, everybody. There he is.
Beautiful.
Good man.
Yeah, it's an inevitability. It's not going to be good or bad. Like many things in life, it's going to be somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But it's going to fucking happen, obviously.
Fun fact, Vin Diesel did the voice of the Iron Giant.
As he did Groot.
Yeah.
He's always some weird guy with very many...
Here's my thing. You're making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He says, I am Groot. You need to pay Vin Diesel to do that?
Apparently.
What the fuck?
I know.
There's voice actors out there just ready to kill themselves. They're like, come on.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's shitty.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, he said this is a great idea, actually.
Ooh.
Anti-procrastination cafe.
Great idea. I think this is... Actually, I don't know if it's in a foreign country or not. I think it looks super Japanese.
Yeah, it's Japan. What is it?
So basically, it's an anti-procrastination restaurant that you go into, and you go in, like, let's say with schoolwork, just as an example, or work for your job, whatever. You go in and you ask them, how much do you want them to bother you to stay on top of your work?
Oh.
So they come up to you and they're like, let's say you say, every half hour. They'll come up, and if you're doing your job, they'll like give you a token, they'll give you a refill, whatever. And I don't think you have to buy food there if you're working. It's something like that.
Okay, wow.
I don't know how they make money. You'd have to correct me if I'm wrong. But if you don't, do your work, they'll bother you. And if they give you multiple warnings, they kick you out if you don't do your work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that is
So it's a fun concept. Yeah.
Get to do your homework for your student or something. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, what is this? People Map? Matthew McConaughey, Texas. Map renames cities based on most Wikipedia resident. Holy shit.
Yeah, so basically it was like, it would be Scottsdale, it would be like Emmett Lefebvre.
Oh,
and it would be like, Austin, Texas, it would be like Matthew McConaughey. And you go around it, it's like based on whichever person is like checked on Wikipedia the most or looked up in that city, that's who pops up. And it's like a regional map.
People map of the U.S.
Based on people.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
That was kind of fun.
Weird, yeah.
I feel like it's all over the place in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Let me do the next one. Let's see.
I think that is the most recent one.
What do we got? Oh, I guess that was the last one. I thought I'd said one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some good ones.
Yeah.
You guys are always welcome to write into the Discord as well.
Please do.
Because we love the juicy content from you guys. We love the juicy content.
I just want to ask you, if you don't have anything to say about it, that's fine, but what do you think about Elon buying Twitter? He hasn't done it fully yet, or whatever, but what do you think about the whole situation?
The whole original concept of it, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was totally on board because I'm a big Elon Musk fan. I like the idea of a lot of the crybabies on Twitter being able to take a step back and appreciate that he wants it to be about free speech. But then seeing that there's all these bots on there and there's this huge number of fake accounts, Elon's taken a step back. And some people are saying it's actually a move to lower the price of it so he gets a better deal because it's going to devalue the stock. So I don't really know the real reason behind it, but if it is all about free speech, I'm for it.
Did you see that leaked footage of some guy who was pretty high up within Twitter talking about how the whole Twitter staff hates him and is super liberal, and they do
100%
shut down Republican accounts.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
And another thing I saw too, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, fact check. I saw where Biden's followers, 48% of them are bots.
I believe it.
Yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't shock me at all. Who really enjoys following Biden's tweets?
That's another kind of worms for another podcast. Would be that effect in the music industry.
Oh, I'm sure.
You ever watch a Vivo music video and it's 100 billion views? It's no
bullshit.
Even if it's Taylor Swift, it's no.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. That shit is.
You look at some of these. Yeah. Sometimes what blows my mind too is going on YouTube and looking at a pretty well-known artist. Let's say I'm trying to think of an example. Bryan Adams, for instance, right? He's got, Summer of 69 and Heaven and Cuts Like a Knife. Those are going to have a billion views.
Yeah.
But you look at some of his lesser known songs that are still good, and you'll see that it's barely 100,000 views or something like that. And you're like, there's no fucking way some mumble rapper who came out 3 weeks ago has more views than, I'm trying to think of a song that's been around for 20 years.
Yeah, I totally get it. And at this point, I think it's almost kind of easy to discern genuine views from fake views.
Yeah.
But it's sad that no one really talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. And it's kind of depressing, creating all this, these fake people. I would like to, especially on Twitter and stuff, I would like to see.
Yeah.
And it is strange to me. I get it, if Elon's trying to be a good businessman and, catch a lower price. But I would have hoped that him buying Twitter he would have cracked down on the bots himself. It's weird that he's like, you got to fix it before I buy it. I feel like were it me and I had all this money, I'd be like, I'm gonna buy it so I can fix it.
It's a lot of
you know?
money, though.
I know, yeah, it's a shitload of money, but he seems so adamant about it. He's, he thinks Twitter's so fucking important. It's just so funny. He says it's like the town square of the world. That's what he called it.
I think I think what's going on right now is like haggling. I think right now it's like haggling. And I think he's so rich though, like if the deal falls through, people were saying, okay, it's $100 million, but that's not that big of a deal to him.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to break him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
$100 million is like, 1,000 to us.
What do you think about, I don't know anything about it. What do you think about Trump's Truth app?
I love the idea that he's getting out there, but I don't think it's going to take off.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. We'll fucking see.
I feel like I hope it does for his sake. That would be cool.
I think it's so funny. I think it's hilarious. It's called Truth.
Yeah, exactly. He's no, I think it's a funny idea.
Yeah.
It's cool, and I think if done right, it could succeed. But it just seems kind of like I don't know. It seems a little off to me. Like it seems like it seems like something that's gonna be a little lame. Like it's not gonna catch.
Yeah. And talk about an echo chamber. Like I love. I think it's fucking hilarious. But I almost don't want to get on there because I know it's just gonna be a bunch of like weird rednecks everywhere.
Possibly.
You know,
Possibly.
I don't know. Like it just.
I mean, I like that he created a company out of spite.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love him. Yeah.
That's what I like. But do I think it's going to succeed? In my deepest of hearts, I don't think so.
I don't think it will.
But do I admire the guy for trying? For sure.
A lot of people look down on him for his like pettiness or whatever. But that's why I fucking love him.
Well, they're also very petty themselves.
Oh yeah, in a different way. But he's like overtly petty, and I fucking love that because talk about like being human. That's so like human.
You think he's going to run in 2024?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think so.
I feel like I kind of wish it was someone else. I wish it was someone because no matter what, let's say Trump gets in, right?
Yeah.
Whether you love him or not, there's that side that just no matter what will never approve anything he does, and they'll spend every day of their life just trying to derail him and discredit him.
Yeah.
And that gets so old, man. So I don't think he'd be able to get much done because he's met with so much resistance. So even if he has the best intentions at heart, the left is just going to shit on him and gridlock him so much.
Yeah.
So I would hope to see someone go in who's less divisive, who is the opposite of what we have right now, because Biden and Harris are just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see someone come in and do something different, but not be Trump, because Trump is so divisive, and no matter what he does, it's like they're not going to accept him.
That's very true. And I mean, that MO of shitting on him was true years even after his presidency. So it's fucking, it was obnoxious, but I miss seeing him on TV.
Oh, of course.
It's fucking hilarious.
He was, you gotta admit, he was one of the funniest.
Oh, yeah.
If not the funniest.
Yeah.
He was hilarious. He was like a comedian's president.
That's why I wanted president. I wanted to be fucking funny.
He was.
I remember thinking Bush was so funny when I was little.
Oh, did he?
He was funny. It wasn't like with Trump level, but he was still like made some goofy fuck ups. You could just tell it was like a goofy guy.
Kind of amusing.
He was amusing. But that's what I want in president.
Bill Clinton was funny too.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was funny too.
Yeah, that's what I want in a president. I want to be fucking funny.
But I look at that and it's like, I'd love to see him succeed, but I don't think people would let him.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I really don't think people would let him. So I think that ship has sailed. But it'd be cool to see some new blood in there. Some people that are maybe a little more independent thinking and a little more moderate.
And not about to die.
Not about to die and be 108 years old. Because my thing is, it's like, instead of being like, far-right extremist or extreme leftist, psychopath, it'd be nice to see someone that's in the middle. Why can't we fucking have it?
I know.
It always has to be you're either too far to the right or too far to the left. It's like, dude, chill. Like, let's try to come to some sort of compromise. But they don't want that.
Yeah, that's why I really liked, what's her name, that Hawaiian woman. She seemed like she was...
Oh, Lilo?
Yeah. No, just I know. That was quick. Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, cool.
She seemed, in a lot of ways, she seemed kind of right down the middle, just because of who she was, and then her. But we do need someone who's gonna sort of connect us.
We need some unity.
People aren't gonna be like fuck you. That's so.
People are really good at bickering and getting nothing done.
Yeah.
It's like I just hate to see that, man. But what's going on right now? I'm telling you right now, is not working.
No.
Yeah. You've got the invisible woman, Kamala Harris, who is just ignoring the border completely. No one's being helped. Nothing's being taken care of there. She's just MIA. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And then Biden, doesn't know his own name.
Doing anything. He's
just
getting worse.
He's just like confused, like doddering around. I feel bad for the guy.
I do too.
So like you said, it's like it feels like we don't have any leadership right now, and it's really a mess.
Yeah.
So that's why I think everyone is so hyper focused on people who really matter right now, like Elon Musk. You know, because you're kind of like, oh god, I wish he was in control in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know?
True. It's sad. It's interesting.
So vote for Unfazed.
That's right. Vote Unfazed.
We do have a request for you guys. If you guys are fans of our content, consider becoming a patron because we have some very, very cool, very exclusive Patreon exclusive videos coming out. Before we did this, but you know, Warhammer and some of our other patrons were like, no, share it with everyone else. There's not enough patrons yet.
Yeah.
But we have a couple things that just for the heck of it, we want to release as patron-only exclusives.
Yeah.
So continue joining, and if we get a couple more patrons, it'll help us make more content more often. You'll get to see some pretty sweet stuff that is not quite ready for the general public yet.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, please join. Helps us out, and you will get to see a lot of exclusive content, cool stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys have not gotten an Unfazed t-shirt, we got a link below to the Redbubble store. Definitely 110%. Check it out.
Check it out, guys.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
Not really. Had a good time with Warhammer.
Warhammer is awesome seeing you, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support, for joining us. I think I'd like to do more guests.
Yeah, I would like to do a lot more guests, and I would like to see more. I was just thinking of this just now. I'd like to see more
penis,
more penis, and more active response in the comments. You guys are always great about sort of starting the conversation or continuing the conversation in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be cool if maybe we did a follow-up where we replied to some of the comments in the next podcast.
Ooh.
Like, tell us what you think about the movies we discussed or what me shitting on Star Wars. Whatever we talked about.
Yeah.
If you agree, if you disagree, let us know in the comments, and maybe next episode we'll read some of those comments and talk further from there.
Yeah,
keep the conversation going.
We do love the talk. We love the free speech forum.
We do.
We love the truth net, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Unfazed
guys.
truth.
So, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, remain unfazed. Thanks for watching.